This video will cover references for a reference list in APA style, namely what information to include and how to format this information. This is something that plagues many writers, and it's completely natural to feel confused or overwhelmed at first. But with a little practice, you'll find that formatting a reference list is much simpler than it first appears. While the information included can vary greatly according to source and available information, we're going to go over some of the most general templates for each of the three most commonly cited sources, which are books, articles in periodicals, and articles in online periodicals. And we'll look at an example of each of those. So on the page here, you'll see for a book, the template is author's surname followed by their initial or initials, and then in parentheses, the year published, and then in italics, the title of the book with only the first letter of the first word capitalized, as well as the first word of any subsequent subtitles. And then finally, the publisher information, which would every word of that would be capitalized. So here we have an example. So the author is Chow W. The year in parentheses is 2004. The title of the book is Hunter-Gatherers in the Prehistoric World, which, as we could see, this title is italicized, but all the words are not capitalized. And then the publisher, we have Gresham Books, and the publisher, the beginning of every word is capitalized. That's an example for a book. Now we'll move on to an article from a journal or periodical. So the format is author's surname followed by initials, and then in parentheses, the year published. So it starts out very similar. And then the title of the article, that is not italicized. It's just in a normal type, and only the first letter of the first word is capitalized. And then following that, we have the title of the periodical in italics, and then we'll have the volume number italicized, followed in parentheses by the issue number, which is not italicized, and finally the relevant pages. So for an example for that, we'll see Giles SN and Nguyen J are the authors. 2016 is the year in parentheses, and then the title of the article is Dig Sites: The European Excavations Over the Last Decade. What's important to note about that, dig is capitalized because it's the first word of the title. Sites is not, because we don't capitalize the whole title. However, the is capitalized because it comes after a colon, meaning it's a subtitle, and we do capitalize the first letter of a subtitle. And then European is capitalized because it is a proper noun. So that and then the rest of it is not capitalized. And then Archaeology Today is the periodical, and that is italicized, and every word is capitalized. And then 14 is the volume number, so we can see that is italicized there. And then in parentheses, we have 3, which is the issue number. And then we have a comma, and then we have the page numbers. And you can also note that for the page numbers, you do not need to put any kind of abbreviation. You don't need to put pages. You can just put 56 to 65 or whatever the page numbers might be. And finally, we have article from an online periodical. So we start out the same, author's surname, initials, year published, in parentheses, title of the article, not italicized, not completely capitalized, then title of periodical, volume number, issue number, and finally the hyperlink. So as you can see, it's very similar to a normal periodical. So for the example, we have Birch L. is the author, 2014 is the year, Tracking Animism in History, an extrapolative study. So as you can see, the first letter of the title and the first letter of the subtitle are capitalized, but other than that, it is not capitalized. And then Anthropology Quarterly is the name of the periodical, and that is italicized, capitalized. Here we have 22, volume number, 3, the issue number, and then finally we have the relevant link is pasted at the end of this. So yeah, and one trick you can use to remember this, how we don't capitalize the full title of the book, but we do capitalize the publisher, or we don't capitalize the title of the article, but we do capitalize the title of the periodical. A trick to remember that, it's just an easy expression. It's the smaller thing is not capitalized, while the bigger thing is capitalized. So basically, the book is smaller than the publisher, or the article is smaller than the journal. So we do not capitalize, we do not follow complete capitalization for the smaller one, but we do for the larger one. So that's just a trick to remember that. And one final thing, as you're referencing your entire reference list, as you're putting it all at the end of your document, remember that it is formatted alphabetically according to the surname of the author. So whatever author appears first in each entry, that will be how you alphabetize it. So for example, if we were to format these three, Birch would come first, followed by Chow, followed by Giles. And that's just something small to keep in mind as you do it. And then what I would note is that APA can have numerous variables, because there are many different types of references that you can cite. So what you want to do with all these variables is, if you need more help than this, you can go to Purdue OWL's APA page, which is provided in this document, which you can find by watching my introduction video. What you can also do is just search Purdue OWL APA Guide into Google or any search engine. And that will bring you to the Purdue OWL website, which is an extremely helpful resource, especially for citations. And by looking around that a little, you'll be able to find some great information. So whenever you're lost, Purdue OWL is one of your best friends. So that about covers it for this video. I hope this video is helpful for you, and I'll see you next time.